The Joe Rogan Experience.
Do you know Rumble's not fighting, but he's got an event soon.
Dude, that's a dangerous
weekend.
fight if you want to keep your knees.
July weekend.
Craig Jones is no goddamn joke. Craig Jones is a heel hooking motherfucker. He is at
really?
Craig Jones is at the top of the food chain in the submission grappling world, but he's not as big as Rumble. But I don't think anybody's drug testing. But that means they're not drug testing Rumble. So who knows? I don't even know if they have to weigh in. I don't think they're going to weigh in.
They're calling it like David versus Goliath match, so I don't believe.
Oh, yeah.
Open weight.
Yeah.
Rumble's
Good
going to show
Lord.
up
EBI
350 pounds.
I wonder what Rumble's going to weigh. Because Craig Jones has been grappling. I want to say he's probably around 215, 220. Long guy. He's not incredibly ripped. But the submission grappling world is very strange because there's no real drug testing to speak of, and everybody kind of knows that everybody's kind of juiced up, you know?
They're from Brazil. I mean,
It's not even Brazil. Craig Jones is from Australia.
No, I mean, but I just mean
some of those
the community.
guys,
You know what I mean? But I don't know. I don't think it comes that much into play in grappling. You know, it's so much technique and leverage involved. And
it comes into play.
It helps you train much longer, much harder. Yeah, you ain't lying.
It helps you be stronger, especially with no gi.
Probably does.
You know, I think in no gi, well, I think it works with gi too. It's just, look, it's physical. It's a physical thing. You get two guys, one guy's on juice, one guy doesn't. The guy who's on juice has some sort of an advantage if they're both technically similar. But that's a tough fight for Rumble in that Craig is used to being on the bottom and he's used to fighting with inside control of the legs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know what kind of leg lock game Rumble has.
Yeah,
what is this? Dennis Hallman?
SUG 8 and 12
well,
seconds.
the crazy thing is Dennis Hallman went for a fucking heel hook here, and Craig Jones was like, nope.
Yeah, not a good idea.
Yeah, he fucked his leg up,
Not a good idea.
Yeah.
I feel like that's going to be the next little evolution that you see in MMA.
Is leg locking?
Is leg locks. Yeah,
I think
they're going to be
so
a big part. I've really started to incorporate it a little bit into my game.
Yeah.
It's especially against wrestlers. Like, I would be a little worried if I was in Rumble's corner for that, because wrestlers are a little more susceptible to leg locks for sure. So I feel like that's going to be like the next little level that you see guys starting to go for.
You have to understand the system, and I don't. I'm not a leg lock guy.
It's hard.
Yeah, I see the transitions, but if I was on the mat with them, I wouldn't be a step ahead. I wouldn't be able to know where they're going, and I would have to react as it's happening, which is a giant disadvantage. And I don't know what Rumble knows. I know he was a great wrestler, but Rumble's big thing was never submitting people. It was fucking people up, standing up.
Yeah, I mean, I think the best way is just to try and disengage from them and just not let them have your legs. It's just, that's easier said than done.
Yeah, good luck with all that with Craig Jones. It's just the thing with those guys is when you're rolling with someone who is that high level with submissions, you are reacting and they know how you're going to react and they're anticipating your reaction and they have a counter to your reaction. And you're always one step behind. So you can explode and explode, and then eventually you get a little tired and then whoop, whoop. And, Hickson used to talk about that. He's like, they can't keep the rhythm. That's what I always say. They can't keep the rhythm. Like this, because they just keep going. They keep attacking, and you just can explode and show everybody how athletic you are. But after a while, that shit wears out, and then next thing you know, you're wrapped up in something.
Yeah, and I think they see more guys like you. You know what I mean? They see more guys that are just trying to they see a lot of wrestlers and a lot of guys just try those same kind of defenses where you're not seeing that many guys that are good at leg locks like that,
right?
Especially to the point where now they're starting to understand it way more technically than like Parhara's style of just like grab your foot and just try and like squeeze the shit off.
Well, Parhara's had some good technique, but it wasn't as complex as like Eddie Cummings or something. Like that.
I don't mean Parhara's in general. I just mean that style of doing it. Some guys you just see like they just grab your foot and just will twist it the way it ain't supposed to go. But when you look at a guy like Donahue style. And he's breaking it down like a mad scientist. He's like, there's literally going to be no way that you're going to get out of those different levels of it.
Well, you're seeing that with Gary Tonin now in MMA.
Yeah.
Gary Tonin was fighting over in one. He just submitted the shit out of somebody with an inside heel hook.
Has he fought against him?
Yeah, he just fought real recently. He just fought like a week ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Gary Tonin he's going to be a world champion. I really believe that.
Yeah, I seen his first like two maybe.
Well, he's undefeated. He's 4-0 now.
Oh, okay.
And it's just the way he's winning too. He's fucking people up, and he's super dedicated, and he's just real smart. And when he's got with a guy like Danaher in his corner, like Danaher is another guy, and he's also, by the way, he's locked up with Faraz Sahabi. They're all like in cahoots together. They train together, but Danaher's got a special brain. He really does. He has a special understanding of submissions.
Yeah, I want to talk to that guy.
Yes,
I want
you
to meet him
should.
out. Yeah,
you definitely should.
Talk to him.
Go, get on down to New York.
Yeah, he's the type of
visit to Henzo's.
Yeah, he's the type of dude. I sit there. I'll talk 6 hours with him, like, because he seems like he's got that, systematic way of breaking stuff down.
Yes.
So
yeah, he does.
I kind of like that. Because it takes the guesswork out of it. You know what I mean? It takes the what if he does this? Oh, well, then he's got an answer for it. What if he does this? He's got an answer.
Yes.
That's why I feel like I'm kind of missing in my game. Well, not necessarily that in my game, but
yeah, I think that would be a great addition to anybody's game.
Yeah.
To train down there and understand what that guy's doing. Or, I mean, there's quite a few different systems now, and then like you got like Craig Jones, who's coming, like I said, from Australia. He's got a very similar system too. It's just everybody's got different approaches to it. But what Danaher did and that Renzo Gracie team did is they just kind of like proof of concept, like just let everybody know, hey, like you're missing out on a giant chunk of this thing, and a giant chunk of this thing is all the variables that come into play when guys are trying to rip each other's knees apart.
Yeah, and it kind of goes back to even like, those individual sports are so ahead of ours a little bit,
Like what we were talking about earlier, when you're seeing world-class jiu-jitsu fighters or a world-class Muay Thai fighter, they're just better at that thing than the guys who do everything.
Yeah, so I mean, a couple of years ago, you saw more like jiu-jitsu going to back attacks, and arm bars were like really big in it. And now then they kind of went through like the leg lock era, and I feel like we kind of stuck on the back attack kind of arm bar, and eventually we'll move over to being able to pull off leg locks, because now you're seeing a lot of jiu-jitsu guys kind of get away from leg lock, and starting to the defense is starting to catch up a little bit. I didn't get to go to Worlds to see it, but I always like to stay one step ahead of it and see where it's going, and what's on the other side of it.